What's up, YouTube? Best Uber driver in Las Vegas, at least in my opinion. Coming to you now. We haven't done a video in a while, and we're just kind of cruising along out here in Henderson, and got a couple complaints going on. Number one complaint is that the rates in Las Vegas have now, well, they haven't quite collapsed yet, but they're on their way to collapsing. This is now the second week of a $40 for 80 ride bonus, or what they call a Quest now. So that's basically an extra 50 cents per ride, when back in San Francisco or even here last year, there was almost $1 per ride Quest bonus. So 80 rides make 80 bucks or 100 bucks. Sometimes it was more than $1 per ride. So it looks like Uber, in getting ready for its IPO, is cutting driver compensation again. And this is something that we've noticed, as I've said, I've been doing this for 3 years now. And what I've noticed, the big thing that I've noticed, is that when I first started doing Uber in the San Francisco Bay Area, we would have an 80-20 split. 80% would go to the driver, 20% would go to Uber. And that's how they made up their fares. The second year that I did this, which was 2017, late 2017, it went to $25.75, and Uber once again was getting the 25 up from 20, and we were getting the 75, the drivers. So now we've gone to, and this is last year that I've noticed, is that we are now getting paid like taxi drivers, where you're getting paid time and distance. And they're fiddling around with the ratio now, because they're saying that, sometimes you spend more time, particularly if you're in a urban environment, or actually if you pick up people from the sports events or different type of events, because you spend more time in traffic trying to get through the traffic than actually what you're spending in mileage. So as we're driving here, obviously I do all my recordings while we're on the road. And so they've adjusted a little bit. They're paying you less on mileage and paying you more on time to compensate for those two difficult things. But net, we're down. And just in, as I said, we just got here in January of 2018, so now we've been here a full year, and I've seen the weekly bonus. And again, I work part-time. I drive 4 days a week, usually somewhere around 25 to 35 hours, depending upon, what the bonus is, what the incentive is. And I have seen my weekly gone down from around 800, 850. Now we're getting down into the 600, 625. Sometimes we're even as low as 550. So Uber is cutting down what they're charging, what they're paying the drivers, and they keep sending out these goofy surveys. How satisfied are you driving with Uber? And I always put the comment, and I'm like, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. I'm pointing a 3. But I'm also saying that raise driver pay. You still have the taxis are charging 3 times as much, sometimes 4, for the same trip that we're doing. Now, I understand you want to run the taxis out of business, Uber. I know you want to get all of that business. I appreciate that. But do you really have to go to 1/4, to 1/3, to 1/4 of what the taxis in Las Vegas are charging? Can't you raise your charge a little bit and kind of kick some of that back to the driver? I know you're trying to get an IPO started, So you want to show good, you want to show smaller losses than you're having because you haven't turned a profit yet. I get all that. But bottom line, if you don't pay the drivers, we're not going to be here. And you may think that automation is going to help. There are a lot of people who are not willing to get into a car without a driver, and they're not trusting of technology. So you got to think about that. So that's all I got to say about it this week, guys. The only other thing I would say is that, you know, if we had a one-day, say, work stoppage where Uber couldn't get anybody to drive, surge pricing would go through the roof. Passengers would hate it, and we could send a nice little message to Uber and say, you know what? We are the backbone of your business. You're a technology platform, but your backbone are your drivers. We are the ones who deliver customer service. We are the ones that make this whole thing possible, that people are willing to entrust, willing to pay you to pay us to give them a ride. So you got to think about that, Uber. Anyway, everybody out there, drive safely, Uber on, and I'll catch you next time.